So winter gardening in the Rocky Mountains is always a challenge. And I'd like to, in this video, show you some of the options that are available if you either have an outdoor garden or your own type of greenhouse or a growing dome, which I'm standing in now. So winter gardening in the Rocky Mountains. An outdoor garden can be somewhat challenging, but it's not impossible to extend your growing season using very simple methodologies. We're now late November in the Rockies and we still have some things growing here. At the back you see some arugula that hasn't been covered and it's about on its last legs, which is kind of typical. Here are some tomatoes, so any frost sensitive things are going to be toast at the first frost, so those are gone. But here we have some winter greens, and we're going to uncover those. The owner covers those with a blanket every night, and there are different types of heat retaining blankets you can use to help extend the growing season. If you're growing frost hardy plants, it's amazing how long they can go. So let's take the covers off and see what's being revealed here. Okay, so now we're taking off the blankets. We have a waterproof blanket, and then we have an army blanket, and then we have a regular blanket, and here we have some Brussels sprouts. And in fact, if you do a close-up on this Brussels sprouts, you see the Brussels sprouts are still doing fine. It's amazing. Actually, Brussels sprouts taste better after a couple of frosts. So what we found is that the thing that really harms winter plants is not snow. It's actually snow forms an insulating blanket, and as it melts it hydrates the plants, but the frost freeze dries the leaves, and so heavy frost will just dry out the leaves, and that's what kills them in the end. So these are doing real well. We'll see how long they go. And at the back here I believe we've got some broccoli. Is that right, Pauline? So we're gonna, the broccoli may not be as well as the Brussels sprout. They're very hardy. Yeah, but we've still got a little broccoli here, and those are very edible. They'll keep going a little longer, but they're on the way up. But anyway, so that's winter gardening in the Rocky Mountains. Some people have found that if you put dark painted water jugs in the day among the plants, they help to absorb heat all day long, and it helps to keep the plants warmer at night. And different types of row covers are available. Some people actually put straw around the plants, and some people sow winter crops in September and October and let them come up to this big, put straw over them, and then a blanket or some kind, or just a straw. And what that does, it insulates the plants, and so in the spring they got a head start on the season, and they grow really fast when the spring comes and weather warms up. So a lot of people build structures to try to extend the growing season in the Rocky Mountains. There's no end to the variety of structures you can build. Hoop houses, lean-tos, etc. And this lady has built a combination chicken coop on the north side and greenhouse on the south side. But she's reporting that it gets very cold at night and doesn't really do a lot. So we're going to go inside and figure out how she can modify that to grow much longer in the winter in the Rocky Mountains. So another way to incorporate thermal mass into your greenhouse is the use of water. And we've got some 35-gallon drums here painted black. We fill those with water and put them on the north side, and we'll show you where that is. And they absorb heat all day long and release the heat back into the greenhouse to stop it freezing. So water in any shape or forms. Other people use gallon milk jugs, milk cartons that they paint black. Any kind of water you can get in there, especially on the north, will help capture that heat of the sun in the day and store it for nightly use. So here we have some Swiss chard that's doing pretty well, some kale still surviving in this greenhouse, different types of kale over here. But we're going to make some recommendations that will help this greenhouse to grow even further into the cold winter months. So the principle of greenhouse growing in the winter is to capture and store the heat of the sun in the day and slow down the heat loss at night. So insulation is the first thing. So this whole wall to the north could be insulated using different types of insulation, and I recommended a foam insulation with a foil-faced bubble pack on the front, because that way you get insulation against radiant heat loss as well as conduction heat loss. So if you go up here, you'll see on the eaves we've got this foil-faced foam, and that's a really great type of insulation. But a lot of heat will be being lost out of the roof, so we definitely would want to insulate the roof. And as we pan to the south, she's got polycarbonate on the south side, which is fine to increase the light coming in here. So in terms of insulation, she's got some metal sheeting on the west wall, which would be losing a lot of heat. So she might want to insulate that, and also insulate high up with as much insulation as you could put in here. The next thing is thermal mass, to store as much heat as you can. So here's a nice area where the owner of this could put 55 or 35 gallon drums of water all the way along here, painted black, and you can actually put flats on top of the drums that will help to keep the seedling warm. But black painted 35 gallon drums are a wonderful way to store heat. And so given all those changes, I bet this structure could be 15 to 20 degrees warmer on a cold winter night, and you could grow frost hardy plants all winter long. So this is the answer from Growing Spaces as to how to grow all winter long. And this Growing Dome greenhouse, we've been building these for 27 years in the Rocky Mountains. They're tried and tested, and they absolutely can grow year-round with little or no heat. So we'd like to take you inside one and show you what's happening. So this is what a typical growing dome looks like inside in the winter. It's late November here. We've got our water tank and all our water plants are thriving. We've got some wonderful bok choy here coming along, and on the table we've got some starts we can grow year round, and so there's a fresh little plant starting up. And here we've got some broccoli and lots of leeks. And over here we've got sage. We grow herbs all year round in the growing dome, and some lovely alyssum here. And over here we've got some artichokes, and they bear fruit in the spring. We've got some peppers hanging on here, and this is our grapevine where we had some beautiful grapes. So essentially a growing dome is our answer to year-round gardening. Has this unique combination of systems which no other greenhouse has, which enable it to grow all year round effortlessly with little or no heating required. So go check us out. We have a wonderful website, and so find out more about our growing dome, our state-of-the-art greenhouse ahead of its time. So enjoy, and we hope to see you again.